We have a tremendous number of variations of hip abduction. This is where you're moving your leg away from the center on the revolution. And we're going to perform most of them with the adjustable arm on position number 8. That way you can stay back pretty close to the machine and grab onto the arm also for stability if you need to. You could perform these exercises without hanging on by standing off onto the floor. That is an option also if you want to work on just the standing control and stability part of that as well. But for the actual motions, now watch each one of these because there's very subtle variations. The normal abduction is just with the toe, the foot pointed straight ahead and then reaching out to the side. And you don't even have to go quite that far in front, I don't think, Amy. Just come bring your, yeah, maybe back like that. So you can kind of put your foot out in front so this cable doesn't rub across your other leg a little bit like she's done. Now here's the first variation. Well, first of all, I should probably tell you this. As far as range of motion, a lot of people think that they're ballerinas and they're going to get this leg clear up to here. And most people's hip joints only abduct to 45 degrees on either side. Now you're going to notice people who get way high by tilting their whole pelvis, but we're not trying to do that. We're trying to keep the pelvis relatively flat and level. So reaching out there, make sure it's just with the hip muscles and it's just in the leg, okay? And a lot of you are not even going to have 45 degrees. So don't worry about how far, worry about how well you're doing it. And then the next thing, I'm going to have Amy turn her toes towards me. So she's not turning it, notice she kept all this straight. She didn't turn her whole body. But she just turned that leg in towards me a little bit, and she maintains that position of rotation. And that will further alter your motion. Some people will have even less abduction when doing that, but you'll feel very different muscular participation. The third variation is to turn outward into external rotation, not the torso, not this leg, but just by pointing the foot and this other knee outward and moving straight out. Now, we're going to go back and take a look at some diagonals. So instead of moving straight out, I'm going to have Amy face me a little bit. So she's about 45 degrees before she had her back to the main rail of the machine. Now she's got just this leg towards it. She's angled about 45 degrees. But she's still going to move her leg in line with the main rail of the machine. So in essence, she's performing a backwards diagonal motion. So there's one great variation right there. So it's not straight back like extension, it's not straight out to the side like abduction, it's a 45-degree angle, and we can do the same type of angle facing the other direction. So she angles away from me 45 degrees, but her leg still moves in line with the machine. Keep it moving against the rail. So she's not kicking straight forward, it's a 45-degree angle. And she can again point her toe in, point her toe out with all those other three variations of foot angle or leg angle while performing the diagonal motion. So there's some tremendous variation there. Now this is not a spot reducing exercise. This is not an outer thigh exercise. There's no muscle in your thigh working to move this. These are all deep hip muscles up real high right here that are incredibly important muscles. In fact, as you're doing this, you'll even feel the same muscles on the other side working to hold your position while you're standing on one leg.